morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at Earth and Sky. Those of you joining us online, we say hello and thank you so much. If you would like, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about insomnia. I know that there is a wide variety of people and a large number of people that struggle with insomnia. When I was much younger, I used to struggle with insomnia myself, and I'm very grateful that now I don't seem to have insomnia very often. On occasion, I get one of those nights. I think we all do, and there's something that excites us enough that it keeps us awake at night. That's actually a good sign if it's on occasion that it happens, but it can be a big struggle, and the struggle can be really real if you are frequently not getting the sleep that you need to have in your life. Our sleep is what recharges us. It rebalances the hormones and the chemicals that are within our brain. It restores the body. It's what allows us to release the day. It's why when you get a really good night's sleep after a really hard day, you can wake up being refreshed. It does so many things, body, mind, spirit, soul, for us every single night. It's a vital function for us to have, and yet millions of people struggle with the inability either to fall asleep or the inability to stay asleep once you are there. So today we're going to talk about a few things of what you can do if you find yourself in that position. I found it quite interesting recently when I had one of those sleepless nights where I actually just was awake. I think I got about 2 hours of sleep, and it was a bit challenging the next day for sure. But what I found really interesting was when I shared that on social media, I had 46 different people comment with their ideas of what they try to do because they struggle with insomnia. That's quite a bit for just one single post in the middle of the night. And so it really kind of sparked that within me that I thought I'd share with you today some ideas. We're going to hammer out a ton of ideas. So you might want to have a pen and paper there next to you, or try to remember these in your brain to put them into practice to help you get better sleep, restorative sleep, where you wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the day and excited and awake and alert. And maybe you too can be one of those morning people that annoys the others that are around you in the morning trying to wake up after a restless night. Just kidding. So, but I wanted to talk about a few things really that you can do. And most of the things can apply both whether you have a hard time falling asleep or if you have a hard time because you wake up in the middle of the night. But one of the things I do want to mention first is that if you do find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, that you might want to get up, move around, change your scenery. If some of the tips aren't working right away to help lull you quickly back into sleep, then sometimes you really do need to get up, stretch for a minute, walk to another room, clear your brain, and then go back to bed instead of laying there fighting it and struggling with it. Next week we will be posting a video too for meditation, so that if you do have insomnia or a rare night that you just can't go back to sleep, or you have a problem falling asleep in the first place, you can watch the video that we'll be posting next week, and it will be designed to lull you gently into the sleep and let you stay there. So one of the things that often I do that I think helps me very quickly and easily get into that sleep state is meditation. And the more you train your brain with meditating, the easier it is to program yourself for whatever it is you want. Whether it's meditating in the morning to program yourself for energy and being ready for the day and excited and having a clear head and focus and all of that, or if you're trying to meditate at night to lull so gently into the sleep and allowing those wonderful dreams to come in as you get a full night of rest. The more you do it, the more you practice it, the better you will get at it. One of the big keys is to not get frustrated with yourself when you start having those thoughts come in, especially at night if you're doing this to try to fall asleep. One of the common things that will keep people up is if they're thinking. They can't let certain things go. Maybe you're replaying a conversation that you're trying to come up with the right words for. You have a list of things to do and you're trying to figure out how to manage it. At night, in bed, is not the time and place to do that. But if you're meditating, simply acknowledge each time those thoughts come in and then let it go. Don't get frustrated that you're having it. Don't fall down the track too much thinking about it. Recognize, acknowledging it is the first step to being able to let it go. So often we don't recognize the thoughts that we even have in our heads. It takes training and programming to be able to recognize what are thoughts, what are feelings, what are sensations. And the more you learn to label those, the more easily you can let them go and let the Z's take you back under. So if you do Reiki, if you're attuned to Reiki, Reiki is another wonderful way to fall asleep. There are specific hand positions that can work very quickly and easily to pull you right under into that restful sleep. There are also symbols, especially with Karuna Reiki, that you can use to program into yourself and activate that energy to allow you to get deeply into the sleep. Very good. One of the other things that I find interesting, I just discovered this maybe 3 or 4 years ago, is you can actually listen to sleep stories to fall asleep, and that can be really interesting. Sometimes they will have very gentle sounds in the background, the waves of the boats rocking against a dock or a waterfall, or maybe it's a sleep story about the savannah and you hear the gentle white noise of the elephants and the crickets and things like that. And with the sleep stories, kind of like when you're a child and you want your bedtime story read to you, it actually brings that back up within the brain and allows you to just gently go out as a monotonous voice talks to you about things that don't really matter a whole lot, and then allows the other things in your brain to clear out as you get lulled into sleep. Oftentimes the really good sleep stories will go from the sound of the person talking, and they talk a little quieter towards the end and the voice trails off, and you have the gentle soothing sounds playing that then trail off, and you don't even notice when they stop. I highly recommend those. There are different apps that you can use for those, or you might be able to find them on, who knows, YouTube, or there are different podcasts as well that I know you can get sleep stories. Self-hypnosis is also a wonderful, wonderful tool for being to fall asleep. And when you use self-hypnosis to fall asleep, you can not only gain the benefit of a really good night's sleep, but you might choose to have something that programs in another goal that you have as well. Whether it's a goal for success, or a goal for weight loss, or a goal for whatever it is that your goals are, you can probably get a good self-hypnosis programmed in so that you can listen to that. With self-hypnosis, it really does take at least 21 days of listening to the same thing every night to help really get that subliminally in, where you start seeing the good results of that. 21 to 28 days. And then the more you do it after that, the more easily you can spur up whatever it was you were programming into your mind. That is something that I do customize and create for people and sell if that's something you're interested in. Or you can find those easily online through a lot of different programs. Just make sure if you're listening to anything that is self-hypnosis online, I highly suggest you listen to it while you're awake first. I have been very alarmed at a couple things that I found and some that I had listened to that were absolutely not what I thought they would be once it got into the middle. So I really recommend that. Or if you choose to get one from me, then I always program just whatever it is that you want into it. Counting your breath is another great way to fall asleep, and there are multiple ways of doing that. Sometimes people feel like that just means counting from 10 down to 1, and if you're new at it, that might not do a whole lot for you. It might, or you might get frustrated because you find yourself doing it over and over and over and over. And so you want to sync it up with your breathing. So one of the ways that you can do that is to breathe in on the odd numbers, out on the even numbers, and go up 1 to 4 and 4 to 1 and 1 to 4 and 4 to 1, with each breath being one number. And you'll start to find that you can feel a rhythm starting to move through your body as you do that. You might even begin feeling like you can hear the sound of the ocean as you breathe, and really starting to visualize that ocean. And as you breathe in with 1 and out with 2, just going to 4 and back down to 1 over and over, start to imagine that you can smell the salty sea air. You can feel the warmth of a warm breeze blowing on you. Bring in all of those senses and really try to envision it within your mind in whatever way is best that you can do that. One of the other things that you can do is to breathe, again, one breath for each number and count up to 10, and then, or 10 down to 1. And once you get there, then you can wait, 1 to 10, and then repeat it. That's what it was. Breathe in from 1, breathe out on 2, breathe in on 3, breathe out on 4, and try to really let your brain disengage. And the more you start doing that, the more you'll start to recognize there are points where you forget what number you're on, or you're trying to remember which way were you just breathing with it, and just let yourself go. Don't let yourself get caught up in the thoughts of it. That can work really well. I know sometimes you can count from 10,000 down. If you count from 100 down, sometimes that can be very frustrating to someone, but there's something in your brain, if you're starting with 10,000, that the numbers can be a little bit trickier to keep straight. And so as you let yourself not get caught up on what number you were on, it starts to disengage the sides of your brain to allow you to go deeper under. Breathing sounds where you really allow yourself to feel the ocean within your breath, or you might even put your hand on your stomach and notice that you can feel the rise of the water as you breathe in, and you feel it going down as you breathe out, and just playing around with that can be very soothing and really help you to lull you out. Really acknowledging every thought and just letting it go. As you breathe out, you might even imagine that you can see the thought physically in your room, and you push it away. Breathing it out gets it out of your body, gets it out of your biofield, and helps you to release that. Sometimes it helps to have your eyes open when you're starting, and then notice that your eyelids get heavier and heavier. Talk to yourself about your eyes getting heavier, and as you breathe out, closing your eyes. I see some of our audience is getting a little tired as I talk about these techniques here. And but closing your eyes and just letting yourself relax. That can be another way. A lot of this is signaling and programming your brain. If you are really struggling and you're finding that you have a hard time falling back to sleep, sometimes getting up and getting a warm glass of milk with a tablespoon of honey and a touch of vanilla in it can really help you to kind of get back down into that sleep as well. Or there are products called Sleepy Time Tea that are quite effective. If you need some extra strength, you can get an extra strength Sleepy Time Tea with lavender in it that really can be surprisingly effective at pulling you under. Magnesium and calcium is another good combination. They definitely work best together depending on what it is that's causing your insomnia. Sometimes that calcium-magnesium combo might be exactly what you need. Or you might need to have some music or some white noise, the sound of a fan, something that you can let your brain engage into as it disengages from all the thoughts going on. And one of the other things that can be a little bit fun for a way to relax is to look up sand paintings. Sand paintings can be very, very relaxing, and it's hard to really see what the person is doing, but they're dragging their finger through sand, and sometimes water will wash through it, and you can see different images come up, and then it races, and it's just very, very soothing and can relax you out. I had seen somebody that was commenting when I had made that comment about insomnia, and they said they love to watch videos about lava flowing. I actually haven't seen that one, but that could be really interesting to just watch lava flow and that kind of monotonousness of the lava flowing. And or you can watch the videos of the night ocean. They've done some studies, and they've seen studies for children that if you watch videos of kittens yawning or puppies yawning or all kinds of different species of animals, they actually have videos of it where they're all yawning and they're all curling up and falling asleep. It actually lets your brain know it's time to do that yourself as well. So that can be kind of a fun one to watch. I know somebody had said that they like to watch Bob Ross painting because that is a very soothing way to fall asleep as well. I personally like to watch American Pickers to fall asleep sometimes. One of the things that you can do is to train your brain. So if you pick something that seems to work for you, or you think it might work for you, and stick with it, your brain will start to get trained in a way that every time that happens, just like Pavlov's dog, every time that happens, happens, or you turn that on, or you start that ritual, it allows you to fall into that deep sleep. Having a bedtime ritual is very, very important. Having something that you do consistently before bed, whether it's reading a book or a specific show that you watch, or just allowing yourself to meditate, or whatever it is you choose to do, having that ritual, a ritual where you turn the lights down at a certain time and you really start to let yourself engage into that, is going to let your brain know this is what we're doing now, and now I'm ready to do it, and you'll be able to fall and stay asleep quite a bit better. If you find yourself not being able to turn your brain off, you might need to just journal. You might need to jot down the ideas that you can't get out of your head, and then let yourself know you'll get back to it tomorrow. And sometimes just having that on paper can let your brain know, okay, I can let go of it now, I will rest now, and come back to it tomorrow. If you are looking for a little bit more metaphysical option of it, you can talk to your angels. Ask your angels to help you go to sleep. Ask the angels of sleep to help you go to sleep. The angels are all around us, and they want to help us with everything in life. But all we need to do is ask. So if you ask, they can help you get to sleep and stay asleep longer too. One of the other favorites that I have for myself is a progressive muscle relaxation. And that's where you start with tightening your toes and then letting them relax, tightening the balls of your feet and letting them relax all the way up. Calves, thighs, all the way up through your whole body, piece by piece, and you find yourself relaxing, getting heavier, sinking into the bed. It's very calming, very comfortable, and it lets your muscles get into a much better, deeper relaxation. It's great for everybody, but it can be really great for people that have fibromyalgia or other muscular issues or MS or things like that, because it really helps the body to recognize what's going on, feel whatever sensations are going on, and to let it go and get out of the body, out of the field, so you can rest better, wake up more recharged and ready for the day. That's also something that I do offer as a recording. If that's something you're interested in, I can customize that, or you can order the Progressive Relaxation MP3 that I already have created. So some of the other things, so those are most of them that you can do at night while you're in bed to allow yourself to relax. But it really helps you to get up the ability to sleep if you do some things during the day too. So exercising during the day can really help, because then your brain is turning on at a point in the day, getting your muscles going, and then it's going to be able to sleep better that evening. Whether it's just a walk around the block, whether you're working out at the gym, whatever works for you, for your lifestyle, for your body, that's what you should do. But something that gets the things going during the day so that you can be ready for bed at night. You don't want to do it right before bed, because then you're going to have all of those endorphins going and not be able to sleep, because it gives you a great energy boost when you exercise. You also want to avoid using the telephone right before bed. That blue light on smartphones can really be activating to the centers within the brain that cause you to think that it's still daytime. It doesn't matter if it's 11 o'clock or midnight, because you had that blue light that mimics the sun, and it wakes you up. There are filters if you feel like you're somebody that really can't live without your phone before bed. Switch it at night so that it has one of the filters that turns it so you don't have that blue light. It'll have a nice amber color on the screen, so you'll be able to sleep a little bit better that way. Most phones you can actually program so they'll switch at a certain time of day too, if you like. And also remembering to, of course, limit caffeine after certain times of the day. For some people, it might be that they can't drink caffeine after 6 p.m. For others, they can't drink it after noon or 3 p.m. You need to listen to your body. Make note of what things you've done and then how you slept, so you can start correlating what's right for you. We're all unique individuals, so figuring out what works for you is going to really help. Avoiding different devices, avoiding anything that's a real stressful conversation right before bed can really be good as well. And always finding ways, if you can, to resolve if you've got stress in your life. If you have certain conversations, or certainly if it's a significant other, resolving that if you can before bed is always a good recipe, not only for better sleep, but also for a good, healthy relationship. So I hope this gives you some food for thought and some ideas. I tried to throw a bunch of stuff out there kind kind of quickly today, but hopefully you get a few of those great takeaways. If you have a hard time sleeping, now you have several tools in your toolkit that you can utilize. And we will be posting next week a meditation to help you. So if you have any sleepless nights, you can tune in, listen to the singing bowls, listen to the relaxation meditation, and just let yourself lull out gently. I hope you have a fantastic day, everyone, and get a great night's sleep tonight. Thank you. Please remember to hit the subscribe button on our channel. Thanks.